Hello trainers, welcome to another fairy tale gym video, which is a series in which I take a fairy tale and I create a Pokemon gym loosely based on it. And we're diving into the ocean today for The Little Mermaid. The original Little Mermaid story actually had a pretty sad ending, where the Little Mermaid did not stay a human and in the end she returned to the sea in a less living form. But the possibly even more famous Disney version, of course, she does, in fact, get to stay on land and she gets married to a handsome prince. But as usual, the gym is only loosely inspired by the story and it's not based on any particular version of it. So this is not like a Disney gym and it's not strictly a book gym either, it's just like the idea of the story, the fairy tale. Let's just dive right into it. So you are a trainer on your journey to become the region's Pokemon champion, so you want to win this gym badge. You get to a nice seaside town. It's a middle-sized town, not a bustling city, but not a small village. You're eager to get your next gym badge, so you just run around everywhere looking for the gym, but you can't find it. And then finally at the docks, an old fisherman approaches you, because he recognizes the look of a confused trainer when he sees it. And he informs you that the gym isn't actually located in the town, but rather outside it, under the sea. This gym utilizes the dive mechanic that originated in Gen 3, so you actually have to get a gym dive. So there's probably a little puzzle that you have to find it somewhere in town. I haven't thought about that too much. Somewhere in town you find the A gym, and there you go, diving into the ocean. And that's where you finally find the gym. Now, I would personally love to have a fully immersed gym where you literally have to be swimming underwater and only water types, or fish like Pokemon, even if they're not water type, can even breathe and battle at all. But I know most people would find that very annoying because it really limits the amount of Pokemon you can use. And you probably can't use your standard team then. So I decided to still keep the gym breathable inside of underwater domes. And the gym is essentially like a reverse fishbowl. All the ocean-living Pokemon can swim around you and look at the silly little humans inside. They can only breathe in their own tiny area. How strange. It's a nice gym though, wild Pokemon come and play there all the time, through water tunnels. Don't ask me about the physics of that, because it's just Pokemon magic. Just know that wild Pokemon can get in and out. To literally no one's surprise, the gym is a water type gym. Imagine if I'd just been like, it's a fire type gym. Oh, that would have been so silly. So all of the gym trainers that you meet have on mermaid costumes. Or maybe they actually are mermaids. Some of them insinuate that they are really mermaids, and some of them just giggle and call you silly if you suggest that could be a real thing. But you never actually see them outside of their costumes, so you're never really sure. Surely mermaids aren't real, right? But you're eager to get your gym badge, so you swim in and take a look. So the gym has a bunch of different rooms, all in magical see-through walls with wild Pokemon constantly swimming around you. However, as a game mechanic, I would make it so you can't see into the rooms from the outside unless you've beaten the room, because otherwise it would all be spoilers when you looked at them. The first room you enter is themed around a garden pond, and the gym trainers are rookies who just recently joined. They're kids, and they ask you to get over to their side so you can enter to the next room. However, you have to get over without falling into the water, so you have to jump on various items to get there. However, some of those items are decoys. They're designed to make you fall. Perhaps the rock you stepped on actually turns out to be a Pokemon, and now it's angrily dragging you back to the start, so you always have to start over. And every time you fall into the water, you hear the little kid trainers laugh at you from the background. Of course, you actually make it over at some point. And at that point, all of the little gym trainers, they will challenge you to a battle. And it's set up in such a way that the more times you fell into the water, the more of those gym trainers you have to beat. Because they feel braver when they see you fall into the water and they can laugh at you. They find you less intimidating, so the more you fall in, the more of them are willing to battle you because they think you're a weak trainer. So these trainers are based on the tuber trainer class. I thought it would be really cute to have them have swim tubes, despite them having mermaid tails. because it's just so funny that they would be bad at swimming, even though they're mermaids, just because they're kids and kids are bad at swimming. And as you can probably tell, they have hair clips inspired by their own favorite water-type Pokémon, one being Levdisk and the other Tentacool. So, the Pokémon that these little mermaid tubers have are again fitting to the theme of a garden pond. They have Pokémon like Poliwag, Wooper, Goldeen, and probably something like a Wartortle, who is their ace Pokémon. They're quite easy to beat. Maybe you brought an electric type, you win. And as you win, you're allowed to enter to the next room. The second room you enter is very appropriately themed around a fishbowl. It's got a sandy floor at the bottom, some typical decor like a treasure chest, some seashells, and in the middle is a giant rock, and that's where the mermaid trainers like to hang out. The pool of water in this one is a lot deeper than in the previous room, but you mostly hang around the surface, you don't really see much of it. And the door to the next room is locked. If you want to keep going through the gym, you'd have to find a button to open the door to the next room. Where could it be? It couldn't possibly be in the very big sparkly treasure chest that steals all of your attention. Oh wait, yeah, no, it is, it's very basic. But the treasure chest is also locked. You need a key. And to get the key, you have to, surprise, you have to battle the right mermaid trainer who has the key. However, which mermaid actually has the key is randomized for every trainer. If you fail and come back, it would be randomized again, of course. So you could be doing one battle if you're lucky, or you could be doing 4 full-on battles before you get to move on to the next room. So eventually, you're going to challenge the right one. And the trainers of this room have Pokemon that I would say fall into the category of just a fish. It's a Pokemon that when you look at it, you go, yes, that's a fish. So Pokemon like Seaking, Barraskewda, Velusa, Bruxish. You may notice the pose of these trainers is actually based on the Little Mermaid statue in Denmark, which is also why they actually hang out on a rock, because it's a reference to the statue. And even though it's probably obvious, one is based on a Magikarp color-wise, and the other one is, loosely inspired by Ariel. Because I thought, why not? Because I don't want the gym leader to be literally Disney's Ariel, but I thought it would be nice to have a little nod to her anyway. So you have the typical green and purple combo for one of these trainers. Perhaps she is the one with the key this time. So as you beat her, you finally get the key to open the chest, in which you get to press a button, which opens the door. Welcome to the third room. It pretty much just looks like an empty beach with a big shipwreck sticking out of the water. You don't see any trainers around, and there's not even a door. It seems the only way to go is down into the water. And since you had to use the HM dive to get to the gym in the first place, that's not a problem for you. Of course, you're ready for this. So you just dive in. And of course, that's where you find all of the gym mermaids. They're swimming around with their Pokemon. There's no real trick to this room, other than you having to figure out how to get to the next room. And you do that simply by swimming around and exploring to find this hidden door. And the gym mermaids that swim around you, they will battle you on sight, in typical Pokemon fashion. You can attempt to sneak around them, so you don't have to battle anyone, or you can battle all of them on purpose. And if you do win a battle, they'll give you little hints to where you need to go. Nothing too obvious, but they may be like, oh, this is a dead end, so you know that that's not the direction and you should go another way. And these trainers' Pokemon are themed around sunken ships and sea monsters. So one of them has a design inspired by Goldeen this time, with a white and an orange. And the other one strangely kinda looks like me. Is it a self-insert? Maybe it is. What are you gonna do about it? Maybe I wanted to be a mermaid in this gym, okay? You can beat me in a battle if you want to. So anyway, the gym trainers' Pokemon are themed around sunken ships and sea monsters. So they use Pokemon like Tentacruel, Delmise, Dragalge, Gyarados. And the secret to finding your way to the next room is of course in a secret tunnel in the depths of the shipwreck. So you have to swim through it, and as you swim through it, you have to swim upwards towards the light where the final room is with the gym leader. As you reach the surface, you discover that you're in the middle of what appears to be a mermaid palace. It's covered in sparkly pearls and seashells. You hear a beautiful singing voice faintly echoing somewhere in the background. And in the middle of the room, there's a giant clam that opens up to reveal none other than the gym leader herself, the Little Mermaid, Aria. Despite her young age, her curiosity, and her sweet looks, She is a first-class gym leader, and she is the princess of her underwater mermaid dome. She gracefully accepts your battle challenge. And fun fact, her hair is actually supposed to mimic both pearls and water bubbles, because I thought that was fun. Little detail that maybe nobody cares about, but I thought it was cute, so there we go. But anyway, as she accepts your challenge, the walls open up and water starts pouring in. Big waterfalls now surround the battlefield, and the battle starts. And Arya's team is, of course, themed around mermaids. So her Pokémon are Primarina, Lapras, Milotic, Dugong, Vaporeon, and her ace Pokémon is a Tapu Fini. And she is quite a challenge. And if you win, which I believe you will, because you're a great trainer, then you get a gym badge. It's called the Seashell Badge. Arya is also so impressed with your skills as a trainer that you're granted the title of Honorary Mermaid. And that means you get your own mermaid tail that works like the A-Gym dive, but you don't actually need a Pokemon to use it. You can now dive all on your own and you don't need a Pokemon with the A-Gym on you. And since we live in the era of character customization, this will also unlock a clothing shop, and this shop will sell you different colored mermaid tails. So that's it, that's the gym. Like, comment and subscribe and all that if you want to. Thank you for watching. I will see you guys next time in my next video. Bye!